Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where we're going to learn our lesson, because I feel like an idiot going back to my district with stuff like this after all these late nights. Every session I've been through, there's one or two bills that stand out to me as absolutely ridiculous. We know that companies like GE have asked for predictability, and the only predictability they get is that we're going to be unpredictable, that we're going to come up with these harebrained ideas that we think are going to revolutionize the state, and we're going to put them out in the middle of the night, and somehow we're going to help everybody, when we know there are a lot of things at risk. This is not what our companies expect in the state. There are a lot of ways we can deal with this, and passing a mandate like this in the middle of the night doesn't work. I really want to know how I go to my constituents and I say, oh yeah, you can trust us with your money. We can't find our way out of a budget with two hands and a flashlight. We're $900 million short next year. How do I go to my constituents and say, yeah, we're going to take over all these major retirement plans and we're going to manage them at the state? That just doesn't make any sense. Why don't we just do what we need to do with the state, get our budgets in order, and look at this another time? It doesn't make sense for us to be doing this. We talked about the questionable process, the fact that, my colleague over here brought up what the speaker said about passing these things without public hearings. As I recall, we had Governor Malloy sitting in here early in the session saying the same thing, that we weren't going to put things through without a public hearing. So what are we doing? I would love to think that when this gets up the chain that maybe it gets vetoed or something like that, but obviously we're not paying attention. It blows my mind to think that we're going to push something through like this. I don't understand. It's instead of mandates like this, why don't we start talking about leadership? Why don't we start talking about finding ways to work with companies to encourage their employees to save money? Why do we need to be the ones that take it over? The whole nanny state. Why do we have to be that? Why can't someone in the state show leadership and find incentives for people to save money instead of coming up with something like this, which scares the heck out of me, folks? When millions and millions of dollars every year are going to be funneled one place and we have control over it, I've never seen any account do well in the state of Connecticut doing that. I've never seen the federal government do that. Look at Social Security. What a great idea that was when it started, and the federal government dips in it like crazy. Well, who's to say that we're not going to start passing something and siphoning a little money off the top? How many things come into Connecticut every year and we take a little bit off the top out of the general fund? Transportation, there's a good one. When we set that up, all the money goes in the general fund, and then we decide what goes out. Keep a little off the top. Ladies and gentlemen, people don't trust us. And anytime we put bills like this out in public, and now we're going to take over all the retirement savings, I understand why. I'm all for doing something to help our constituents. That's our job. It's our job to make sure that people have a future. I always said when I ran for office that I wanted Connecticut to be a place where my kids could get a great education, they could get a great job, and not live with me. So I'm okay with trying to do things to take care of people. But sometimes we're going way too far. Thank you for allowing me to be passionate. I'll certainly be a no on this, but I hope someday we can get something that actually I think would work and people would trust us on. Thank you, Madam Speaker.